Star Trek Insurrection from 1998 on 4K Blu-ray. This is day 6 of 30 on my 30 days of Star Trek review. So here we go. So compared to the 2009 version, the 4K looks a lot better. I wouldn't say that it's as big of a leap as First Contact, but it definitely looks a lot better, and the colors are a lot more refined on the 4K. So one thing I noticed when comparing it to the older Blu-ray is that the colors, like anytime there's something bright, like it kind of just washes everything out inside of that. So on the 4K, you see the detail in any of the bright places. It retains that. So it was very satisfying to watch that. Also, looking at the Blu-ray, they've done digital noise reduction, and so all the grain looks like it's like frozen, and so their faces look like they kind of look like the people in Surrogates almost. So the 4K is absolutely an upgrade. So if you're a fan of this movie, which I am a fan of this movie, but I would say this movie is like a 42-minute Next Generation episode crammed into an hour and 40 minutes, if you know what I mean. So what if you haven't seen the movie Surrogates? One, you should, but two, what I'm referring to is their faces just look like ultra smooth and like tons of makeup, and so that's how I felt like the 2009 Blu-rays looks. Is their faces just look, they the people on the internets, they call it waxy face, where they just look kind of fake and not detailed. So one thing I wasn't really expecting with this movie, having just come from First Contact, is that the special features and CG hold up a lot better in First Contact than they do in this. So First Contact came out in 96. This came out in 98. 1998, for those of you Gen Zers or whatever comes after the good ones. All right. Sorry if that offends you. But my point is that you would think in a movie that came out later that the CG would look better. And I thought it looked worse and cheaper in this movie. And it may have actually been cheaper, but it stood out even more on the 4K. It's still totally watchable, and still like the models look good, but the CG absolutely stood out more. Really, I'm just comparing it to the CG on First Contact. So not necessarily on the Blu-ray of this movie, but just the prior movie looked better. It looked higher quality. Okay, so during this opening scene, you got a bunch of creepy Federation people and the creepy stretchy face people, basically spying on this village with these cloak suits, and there is some serious firearm safety errors, mistakes, bad things. I'm tired. Okay, so watch this. You'll see what I mean. So they're chasing Data, and they're shooting at him now. See that? And look at these kids running across the bridge. Oh my gosh! Are you serious? So know your target and what's beyond it. Come on, Starfleet officer. You just winging phaser blasts into like populated area. You almost just shot a kid running across that fake stone bridge, making it jiggle. Seriously. Anyway, so the scene's supposed to be like, look at the Federation's working with these people that's like unethical, and they're watching them. Like that's like the point of the scene, because Data's like undoing it. But what I get out of that scene is, holy crap, these guys suck at marksmanship and need to get fired. Like, that's more unethical than spying, I think. I mean, probably still shouldn't, spy on people, but holy crap, kids almost got blown up. I couldn't get past that. Really kind of froze my brain in that part of the movie. Okay, so something interesting happened on this part. So the little Federation lady in the little observation place has 2 gold pips on her collar, which is lieutenant. And he is a lieutenant commander, which is higher than her. So he has 2 gold ones and 1 black one. And I thought this was interesting right here. So he's going rogue. So she's trying to stop him.
Data, stand
Listen.
down. That's an order. I repeat, stand down.
So can you, that's an order, the rank above you? I don't know. My wife was saying maybe like she's in charge of the little operation, so then you would listen to her despite your rank. But I was watching it this time, and I was like, I think she's a lower rank than him. So that's interesting, I guess. So we have Picard here getting shoved into his dress uniform by Beverly Crusher, person I think he should fall in love with.
Chef Ball, emphasis
What?
on the chin and the fall.
You either need a new uniform or a new neck.
Eugene Chef Fall. My collar size is exactly as it was at the academy.
Of course.
I just love that. He's like, my collar size, exactly the same size as it was in the academy. And Beverly's face is just like, she's like, yeah, right. You go on thinking that. Anyway, there's a lot of good character moments in this one. Also, this movie is, so the last one was PG-13, this one's PG, and it's definitely a lot, like, calmer and more positive. Like, you can even see the lighting is better. So it's like the movie's trying to just be like, you're safe here. Everyone's having fun and joking. The Borg aren't going to come and implant you in something in your neck that's going to pop out of your face. So, anyway, yeah. So it's an interesting tone shift from the last movie. So one thing you'll notice throughout the entire movie is that the aspect ratio gets stretched, so their heads look more stretched, and then the next scene it'll be back to normal size head. Boop. But that's part of how they made the movie. So again, this isn't going to be a super technical review. You can go to see James at In Search of Physical Media for that. He does an amazing job. But it's like my wife didn't even notice it, so it's not that bad. But it's definitely like you can see there's many scenes that are stretched out. So during the timeline of the last movie, First Contact, Worf was not on the Enterprise. He had moved on to Deep Space Nine, so they had to have an interesting plot device to get him on the ship. And this one as well does the same thing.
Worf!
What the hell are you doing?
It's like,
He's a little late.
blur, 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 exposition, here I am. Anyway, so they have to get him back with his crew. So it's interesting. So he's having this thriving life on, well, he's doing stuff on Deep Space Nine, and having his life is going on, but for each like movie adventure, he comes back with his crew, which I really appreciate, and I totally accept the weird exposition things that they just write in to get him back with them, because we like Worf and his gorges. Speaking of stretched, here's another one. Definitely not their natural appearance. Check this out.
We are so honored to be accepted within the Great Federation family.
We have a dance later, I believe.
I look forward to it.
You know, I would love to see them dance. So the music in this part does something that they did in the last movie, First Contact, with Worf, and that is playing a very subtle version of the Klingon theme from the original Star Trek motion picture. So you can hear it in the background on this. Listen.
Good to have you back, Mr. Worf. Slow to 1/3. Take us in.
You hear that? So they just work it into the theme. That is very subtle and very cool. It's like Worf when he gets kind of a cool introduction, and then they play like the awesome Klingon music. So like he's just representative of Klingondom and gets his own awesome little theme. Like, do any of the other characters have a theme? I don't know. I mean, that's pretty dang cool. Also, the Enterprise E, I almost said F. The Enterprise E is so cinematic. It's so filmable. It's so good looking. Look at this thing. This is a good looking vessel here. Look at that. It's fun to watch. They always have the space backgrounds. Look so cool. Check this out.
Half century ago, they conquered two primitive races.
So they're looking at the computer, and you can completely read every single word on there. And it's pretty interesting. Okay, so I just spent the last couple minutes reading this entire thing. It's about the Sona, which is the people on the planet. And their history is super interesting. Look at this. So you can pause that if you want. Actually, I don't know if you can read it on my phone with how the pixels get distorted, but there you go. It's completely unique information from right here down to the bottom of the highlighted part, and then it starts over again right there. But that is some attention to detail. I mean, it talks about how they used to be spacefaring people, and they were after jewels, and they even did slavery. Very, very interesting history about the Sona that you don't actually hear in the movie. So pretty cool. Love when the computers have like actual information on them. So correction, the Baku are the planet people. The Sona are the stretchy face people. But this is super interesting about their history that is totally readable on the 4K. Look at this. Ah.
You haven't done that in a long time.
What?
What you're doing to my neck.
Was I doing something to your neck?
That's adorable. But it actually has a purpose. So as the Enterprise goes into the Briar Patch and starts getting affected by the special radiation that makes people young, they all start, like Worf basically goes through puberty. These two start loving each other. Picard hears something. So each person in the crew has like enhanced abilities that start happening one after the other. So the astute viewer would be like, something is up here. Okay, so here we have some main characters, Picard meeting these main characters, but who I'm more interested in is this young lad right here, this strapping young lad. His name is Mark Deakins. He's now 60 years old. He is an actor, obviously, he's in this movie, but he's an accomplished audiobook narrator. He's narrated over 200 audiobooks. His Star Trek card from the Star Trek customizable card game shows that his name is Tornell. He is the, what does it say? He's the chief engineer of the ship that brought the Baku to their new world in 2066. Now one of the more respected elders in their idyllic community. So that is Tornell, Mark Deacon. So he is also in some religious movies. He's in a movie called How Rare a Possession, where he plays Vincenzo di Francesca. I love that movie. And this guy does amazing. So I was so excited to see him in this movie. So this lady, temporary episodic love interest, I believe is her name. In real life, her name is Donna Murphy, and she plays Mother Gothel, the voice in the incredible movie, one of the greatest movies of all time, Tangled. So she's the voice of Mother Gothel. So Mother Gothel is trying to use manipulation and villainy and kidnapping, essentially, to keep herself perpetually young by using Rapunzel's hair to stay young. This lady, boop, is the victim of pretty much that exact thing in the plot of this movie. So the stretchy face people want to mess with their planet, which will affect her to keep themselves perpetually young. So she has literally been a character on both sides of that same plot. Crazy. So Riker shows up and starts making a move.
Yeah,
Yuck!
I never kissed you with a beard before.
I kiss you and you say yuck?
Is that true? Has she never kissed him with a beard? Oh, I really want to just dive into researching that, but I feel like some of you guys that have been watching this would know way better than I would. Has she kissed him with a beard already before? I feel like she has, but I can't tell you exactly when. Anyway, it's still a fun scene, but I don't remember. They're using the phasers. Oh, look at this guy. Watch the map pop up when he hits the ground. All right, I'm going to show you something my wife noticed. But first, these phasers are so cool. The more slanty ones. Anyway, another thing I noticed between the Blu-ray and the 4K is that on the Blu-ray, which is similar to the other ones, but there's a lot of like dirt specks and debris that you see. So they've scrubbed the grain out, but they've left like the dirt. So this is like a cleaner version of the movie as well. Like in addition to better, deeper colors and the detail being way stronger, it's also a cleaner looking film. Okay, so this guy's falling off the roof because he just got double zapped by Picard and Data. Just totally both double tapped him. But I'm going to play this in slow motion. He's going to fall through some bushes, but the like black mattress that he lands on, you could totally see it. My wife pointed it out. So she didn't notice stretchy face people, but she absolutely noticed this mattress popping up here. So check it out. So look. It's coming down. Oh, look how much in focus he is as he's falling down. It's a very clean fall. Here he goes. Watch for the black mattress pop up on the edges. Whammy. His little foot sticks up. But also you see, right, there. The black mattress corner pops up that he just landed on. Little foot sticks up. Yeah, she totally pointed that out. Here's where we see Worf have a rough time with his brand new gorge.
Sir, it is the gorge. Gorge. Oh, well, it's hardly noticeable.
Look at Data now. He takes one extra peep as he walks away.
Like 5.
Look at Riker check out his gorge. He's just staring right at it.
Klingons never do anything small, do you?
That's so good. Worf is getting humiliated. Such a good sport. So Riker, Jonathan Frakes, also directing this movie. His hair looks very freshly dyed to be darker in this movie, because obviously it is. Look at that gorge. Poor Worf. So the Enterprise is luring the naughty Sona people after them. And earlier in the movie, they mentioned that the area is called the Briar Patch, which is like a reference to Brer Rabbit, Song of the South, etc. Here is another reference.
Time to use the Briar Patch the way Brer Rabbit did.
From Uncle Remus. Okay, so I wasn't sure, but it is Uncle Remus. Because I was like, is that just Disney's Song of the South, or is there more? So Uncle Remus, so you can see talking about Tar Baby and Mr. Rabbit and stuff. So this is what the movie's referencing. It's a cool old book too. Look at that. So here's a familiar face coming up right here.
One of their weapons hits that gas!
It's our only way out of here, Mr. Daniels.
Mr. Daniels? So if this guy looks familiar to you, it is because he was in the last movie, First Contact. He had a different name, though. In at least according to this, he was Thomas McClure. Check him out. Get it? Zoom in. There we go. This is Star Trek customizable card game again. This is the First Contact card of this guy. And he's the one that came up and he's like, they've adapted to our weapons. And Picard's like, you got to go back down there and fight them hand to hand. And he's like, but he goes anyway because he's awesome. Anyway, I was really glad to see him make it into, like, kind of as a part of the crew of the Enterprise. However, I guess they changed his name because now he's Mr. Daniels. So I don't know, maybe he got married and took on the last name of whoever he married. Anyway, he's Mr. Daniels in here, and that's what he's in the credits. In First Contact, I think he might just be credited as security officer. But the card game called him Thomas McClure. I don't know. I know sometimes that Decipher with the card game would take the names from stuff. I don't know if they made it up. Anyway, it's cool to see this guy back from First Contact now as a regular member of the crew after fighting face to face with the Borg the entire movie and surviving. So good job, this guy. I was telling my wife, now we're just waiting for his console to blow up in front of him during a space battle and to launch him like 30 feet and kill him. You know what? This is an awesome shot of a tricorder. Look at that. The props are so cool. Speaking of tricorder, boom, here's mine. You can tell it's mine. Oh wait, no, this one's not mine, but check it out. All right, so here's the baddie and little henchman. He looks like he belongs. This guy and this guy both look like they need to just go back to Galaxy Quest. So here we have one of the morals of this episode. I want to say episode because it feels like an episode. So Picard is lecturing this guy, and this guy's basically taking Picard to where Picard will die, and he's lecturing him. Watch this. It's beautiful.
Coward without the moral courage to prevent an atrocity. You offend me.
This is how a Federation officer pleads for his life.
I'm not pleading for my life. I'm pleading for yours. You can still go home, Galna.
Anyway, love it. So he's trying to convince this guy to be brave and go against what he knows is wrong and make the right choice. So I think it's always interesting when good guys become bad guys in movies, and you know, who better than Space Dad Picard to lecture you into changing your morals back to the right. So again, eagle-eyed viewer, my wife, noticed while this guy's hanging on the ramp, or on the thingy, you can see the cable in his sleeve. And I was like, what? They had the cable exposed? No way. But look at this. I'll probably pause it. Right there. Okay, you probably didn't see it, but check this out. So he's hanging on there and struggling. And then when he spins around, watch this. So you see the cable tighten and pull on the cloth of his sleeve once he switches. So it's on kind of on the tricep area. But yeah, my wife totally noticed it. She's like, look at the cable. And I was like, what? I had to rewind it and look. Check it out. Right there, as he hangs, it goes taut, and then the cable pulls into the clothes. You can see that? It's like, man, she's an eagle-eyed viewer. Check out this doubled up image on Picard coming up here. So you can kind of see it right here, but you're going to basically see another copy of his shoulders at about right here. And I'll tell you what I think this is. I'm not sure, though. I'm just guessing, but check it out.
I wish I could stay.
It stands out really strong. Right there. See that? So you can see, like, that's his shoulder right there with the light on it, and there's his other shoulder. So I'll let it go a little bit so you can see it some more.
There's times for the Federation.
Isn't that interesting? The image just doubles up there for a second. What I think that is, I'm not sure, but I think that the lens, that the light came in and hit like the inner lip of the lens from directly above, and so it kind of just created a double image. That's my guess. Yeah, interesting thought. Also, Picard is going to tell a very big lie right here that we all know he's lying. Here comes the big lie.
But I have 318 days of shore leave coming, and I intend to use them.
He's not going to use his shore leave to go visit this lady. He's not going to. So it's cute that he said it. He's not coming back. You guys let me know if in the books or anything he actually does go back there. But like I mentioned before, there is a novella called Q Are Cordially Uninvited, and it's about the marriage of Picard and Beverly Crusher. And to me, that relationship is a lot more compelling than this lady he just met. Look at this longing glance. She knows he's not coming back.
Energize.
Look at this. Look at this hero shot. Look at all our friends here. Look at Beverly over there all by herself on the complete opposite side as Picard. They just need to quit kidding around. They need to get together. All right, this has been day 6 of 30 on my 30 days of Star Trek reviews. So this movie is pretty okay. Like I said, it's just like a 42-minute episode crammed into an hour and 40 minutes. So just feels like an episode, nothing revolutionary. There's a lot of great character moments. I was telling my wife, even though this is just an okay Star Trek movie, I'd still rather watch this over 99% of what's coming out nowadays. So anyway, it looks great on 4K. It sounds great. Not a huge difference in the sound, but it does sound a little bit better. Absolutely cleaner image, though. Cleaner, more detailed. It's like you just removed a filter over the top and you're actually seeing into the image now. So anyway, thank you for watching this very long review on Star Trek Insurrection. So let me know what you think, and see you on the next one. Bye.